I know when I don't like a book when it makes me sleepy. And this book
Yes,
continually made me tired.
I will say, fuck you, Neil Gaiman.
Welcome back to Caffeinated Comics Club. We read Marvel 1602 this week, and I thought it was awful. But we have other things to talk about besides that right now, and I will give it to Gare now.
Hi, everyone. We certainly did read a book this week. I don't know how long we'll talk about it. It has the potential to be a very, very long conversation, but it also has the potential to be a very short conversation, depending on how done with it we are by the time we get there. What are you sipping on today, Marsh?
I threw it in the trash already. Some sort of Alani, but it's in this Timber Rattlers cup because that's our
Okay.
local, minor league team or whatever. So it's pink.
The pink. Ooh, that's a really pink Alani. It's a cotton candy. I don't know what. You know what? I don't
It's
think I've ever
cherry.
seen what a
It's cherry limeade.
yum.
Was it?
I do love the cherry limeade one.
Said that like I couldn't just reach. It's cherry twist.
Okay. I don't know if I've had that one. Wait, is cherry twist cherry limeade?
I don't know.
Essentially,
It tastes like a lime. It tastes like cherry limeade. So that's why I said that. But
I think it is. I think it is. I'm drinking water.
that's good.
Did I have a caffeine today? No. I did have a protein shake, so
I also have two
and a
more
B12.
energy drinks on my desk right now that I haven't drank yet. But so they're not for today. I need everyone.
Okay.
Yes, they're not for today. They just sit on my desk for like weeks.
I was like, oh my God. Period. 3 energy drinks in one night. You have had a day.
It's been a day. I really just should have had alcohol. I thought about it, but we're on an
Oh,
adventure.
actually, that would be really fun.
Drinking and
Doing
talking.
like a drunk episode. What would y'all think about a drunk episode where we just like we don't even have to have a book read for that one. We could just like talk shit about comics and all the things, all the pop culture and
I think that would be
everything. That
fun.
could be fun.
That would be fun.
That would be fun.
Let's do that. Put it in the books on the calendar.
Okay. So we do have a lot to talk about 1602 wise, but comic news, I don't have anything other than the Doomsday trailer came out today.
It did. The Doomsday trailer did come out today. What's funny about that though is I told you in a message earlier, but the Fantastic Four Twitter every week on Sunday at 7 p.m. they posted the clip of Reed saying we have Sunday dinner at 7 p.m. on the dot, and it's every week been the same. And then this week they had like an interruption during it. And it was like Sue asking Reed how much time do we have because it cut to black, and then that was going to be my comic book news was that, and then the trailer dropped because I thought the trailer was going to come this week, and it came today.
You were like, "You guys, we have tea for you," and it came today. It came
And
early.
it came today.
Oh
I'm
man.
excited though. I think it has the potential to be a pretty decent film. I do see how it's kind of pandering to try to get butts and seats with like the Steve reveal and Thor seeming to be like he might be the one in charge. So like those are some of my gripes so far. I think that the Cap reveal could have happened during the film and not during the trailer, even though for people who aren't constantly on the internet, who didn't know the rumor about Cap being coming back or what have you, were probably surprised by it. I thought the fight scenes were pretty cool. I'm sad that we're going to have to say bye to the Fox X-Men crew and cast because of the event ripping basically their universe. That's kind of what we saw. I don't know, like I've seen lots of people say things about it, and granted there are leaks out there and stuff like that, but you gotta give it a chance. I think you can't really I don't think you can damn something if you've only seen like 3 minutes of actual footage. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, that is a huge rhetoric online. People really love to hate on the MCU right now, which valid. They haven't put out a lot of great stuff in the last few years,
Mm.
but I do like to reserve opinions until something comes out and I get to watch it. But I am pretty excited about it. I do have a question. Wasn't there like a little mini trailer that came out months ago where they revealed that Cap was going to be in the movie
Yes, but it was really just Cap and Peggy dancing. So like
and like he was on a motorcycle or something?
maybe.
So I thought it was interesting that in the trailer today that they did like they edited it to be like this big reveal that Cap was going to be in it, and I was like, didn't we know that already? But clearly, not everyone did. I don't know. I am excited about the movie. I thought the trailer was pretty good. I do also have the same gripe in that I don't understand why we are relying so heavily on characters that we've already said goodbye to.
Yeah.
Like I don't get it. This for Cap, this will be the second goodbye, like, or if he does a goodbye, if he dies on this or whatever. Like,
Mhm.
we had a whole thing where his old ass was sitting on the bench, and then he was gone, and now he's back. And for the Fox X-Men, this will be the 4th goodbye for them because we had Logan, we had Dark Phoenix, then another goodbye in Deadpool and Wolverine, and alas, here we go again. And I'm like, "You guys, I love it. Don't get me wrong. It's makes my childhood heart very happy to see James Marsden get to properly play Cyclops. Hopefully, I'm manifesting that's what it's gonna be. But it's just, I'm like, "Okay, let me have the MCU version. I'm ready for it. I know we're getting it next year or the year after, whenever. Like, they're gonna start filming it soon. But let's just, I don't know." And Feige's out here being like, "This is not a reboot. The end of this is not a reboot of the franchise. It's just we know where we're going because the what happens in the comics after Hickman's Secret Wars is a great route to take." It's literally what he said in an interview yesterday for Brand New Day. And I'm like, "Huh? What do you mean?" Because there's a lot that happens after Hickman's Secret Wars.
Yeah, that's true. I think one of my biggest gripes, though, for me, is that Tony Stark is Doctor Doom, right? And I've been on the train where I haven't liked that casting choice. I haven't liked the idea of Tony Stark being Doctor Doom. However, I will say the voice in the trailer was actually epic. Okay, that part was epic. But I
Did
will
not sound
be
like him at all.
it didn't. It really didn't. But I will be damned if Reed Richards and Doom are not in the same room together at least one time in this stupid film. I will be pissed. And the fact that there was no
I
lead up to Doom. He just shows up.
Yeah, he's like, "Hey, look at this baby," at the end of Fantastic Four, and now he's here.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what's wild? I saw a couple of fan theories today.
Okay.
There's one, like, really big, intricate theory that there's gonna be a recasting for Tony Stark after the end of Secret Wars because they think that Marvel's gonna reveal that the Tony Stark that we know and love was never really Tony Stark, but it was actually Victor Von Doom adopted with the name Tony Stark. And that's how they're gonna explain it away. And I'm like, if they do that, that's gonna be wild and weird and crazy as fuck. But I don't think they'll do that. I just thought y'all really will try anything to like make it okay that they're using the same actor in a different role.
Yeah.
You know? How are they gonna explain that he and Robert Downey Jr. have the same face? They never show him in a flashback. He always is just deformed and behind the mask, he never takes the mask off.
I mean, he doesn't. It's actually like seared to his face. So,
Period. Period. So I guess that's how they get away with it. Okay.
I mean, if they do it right, right? But I don't know how they're gonna do it. And you saw in Fantastic Four and the post credit scene that he had the mask off.
So real, he did have the mask off.
So I don't know how they're gonna go about it. Granted, it didn't get seared to his face until a little bit later, but he still doesn't want anyone to see this like small ass scar he has. It's not anywhere near super deformative or anything like that. He's just super vain.
I love
But
that for him.
yeah, I don't know. The whole Tony Stark situation of it just really like rubs me kind of the wrong way. And like, if you're right, if the theory that you saw was right, and that it is like an adopted Victor Von Doom who was named Tony Stark, like I think I brought it up on the pod before. I mean, Tony Stark is canonically adopted because he like took the place of like their actual son who was like super sick or something like that. So like I could see how they could take from that, but again, I'd be really pissed if somehow like Tony Stark was Victor Von Doom the whole time.
Yeah. That would feel very lazy and silly. People are really convinced that Doctor Doom is not revealed as like the villain of this movie until the 3rd act. In the trailer, there's a shot where all of the characters are in one room together, like not the X-Men, but like the Fantastic Four, the people from Wakanda, the new Avengers. They're all in a room, and there's this big space between Reed and Sue and Ben and Johnny. And like when you zoom in, you can tell that it was digitally altered. Like you can see that there's Photoshop, and people think that Doom is with them, and he's like actually being like he's like leading the crusade to save the multiverse before it's like revealed at some point, like boom, I'm actually the bad guy.
I could see that, right? I could
Hmm.
see how that could be a theory. However, if there is a Doom in the Fantastic Four universe, there's no way that the Fantastic Four would be like, yeah, sure, let's just hang out with Doom. There's just not a way for it to work for me. Now,
Yeah.
if that's how the story is and they can explain it to me and make me believe it, fine. But just saying,
Yeah.
if
Knowing what we know, it would
ex-
be hard to swallow.
exactly. I don't know. It's just weird. It's weird. I don't like Thor, like I said, being like the head, like the main character. It seems like, at least in the trailer. I also just don't like Thor in general.
I don't either. I am a huge Thor hater, and I love to hear that you are as well. I'm pretty sure we bonded over this before. Thor: The Dark World is one of the worst superhero movies I've ever seen, and I hate that Chris Hemsworth did that Ghostbusters, all-female Ghostbusters movie and thought that he was funny in it, so he wrote in his contract that he got to improv most of his lines in the rest of the Marvel movies. It worked with Ragnarok because of the director, but Love and Thunder, good God, could y'all not could y'all have done anything worse with Jane Foster?
Mm.
Big Thor hater here.
I will say though, Doom did look super cool.
Yes, he did.
I did like how he was able to just to stop. What is it, Stormbreaker with like 2 fingers? He was just like, nah, get out of here. What are you doing?
Nope.
But okay, so we have Doomsday, and then next is Secret Wars, right? That's the next
Yes.
Avengers movie.
Yes. Also, do you remember the Secret War concept art that was leaked last year?
No.
So it's relevant. It's relevant today for this reason and this reason
Okay.
alone.
Okay.
In that concept art, it's like in a castle room, and Yelena is like Doom's right hand woman, but she's in medieval garb. And I remembered it while I was reading 1602, and I'm like, are they going to do a thing where Battle World is like medieval and Doom is the king, and they like loosely adapt 1602?
I do think so. I've never read Secret Wars, first off. Hickman's run on Secret Wars. I've only read his
I haven't
Fantastic Four
either.
run. So I've only read the Fantastic Four and the FF stuff. And I was going to read Secret Wars, but we decided that we were going to read it at some point. So I was just going to wait until we were going to read it together. So I think that there is. I think Doom ends up becoming king in Hickman's Secret Wars. I think.
Okay, period.
And that might be where they're getting that from. But it also could be that I'm just mashing things together again. Although I will say, though, I was right in 1602. They were pirates. Not pirates. They were like adventurers. The Fantastic Four were like adventurers.
Mhm.
And I thought I
Yeah.
had like made that up.
They were on a boat
They were.
at some point.
They
They
were.
went through the Bermuda Triangle type thing
Cosmic
and gave them
rays.
their powers. I was like, okay, y'all. The cosmic rays, the Bermuda Triangle. I said, all right.
Hey,
You know what, Neil Gaiman? You do what you want to do, baby. Except don't. You have bad choices in life and in comics. Anyway, I have a whole rant about Neil Gaiman later on in this pod. I just want to say that. What are you pulling this week? Are you pulling anything?
I am. My list currently is, even though I told you I'm going to like only pull Fantastic Four from now on. We'll see. We'll see if I actually stick to that. I feel like I should, but we'll see. This week I have Absolute Wonder Woman number 22, Gambit Wanted number 1. I have 2 different variants for that. Odin number 3, The Peril of the Brutal Dark and Ezra Kane Mystery number 6, and Terminal number 1 by Robert Kirkman.
I didn't realize that was coming out this week. I
Yep.
hope my LCS has that. That'll be fun because that's like Walking Dead X-Men, kind of, right?
That's what they kind of are shopping it as. So we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. What are you pulling, Gare?
Uncanny X-Men 32, Wolverine 24, Gambit Wanted number 1, Moonstar number 5, which is the final in the series, X-Men The Hellfire Murder number 1. That is it for Marvel. All X titles.
All
Look
X
at that.
titles.
And then for DC, nothing. So yeah. And then if Terminal is at my LCS, I'll get it. But if not, oh well, I'll get the trade. I think I said a few weeks ago too that I'm really only trying to pull X titles now. And Nice House by the Sea number 11 comes out, which makes me think that we'll probably get trades soon. That'd
I
be
hope
nice.
so.
So I could read all of those.
There's no talk about Volume 2 yet. Volume 1's
Volume
already
1
out.
just came out like a month ago, I think. Zach picked it up. Yeah, that's it. I love that we are both on this journey of like dropping so many things from our pull list, though. You are very lucky in that there's 1 Fantastic Four book, maybe 2. That one with Reed and Doom. I have so many X-Men books.
That one with Reed and Doom is a one shot, so that's already over.
Oh.
So I have Fantastic Four. I think I'll keep Doom Quest just because Doom, and then the new Fantastic Four that's coming. Midnight Fantastic.
Yeah. We're 3 months away. 3 months away.
So
I think that I'm gonna be on a vacation when those books come out. So
it looks like
I'll be
you'll
getting
have
them
to stop.
digitally.
Oh, so it looks like you'll have to stop somewhere.
I wonder if there's a comic shop down there. That would be really cool. I don't know.
In Key
I don't know if there
West?
is.
There has to
Yeah,
be.
I'll
There
have to
has to be.
look. The island is really long. It's really long. There's a 7-mile bridge we have to cross.
I have been to Key West,
Period.
but I went when
I
I
did
was,
not
like,
know.
11, so I don't know if that
Okay.
actually counts.
Okay.
There
Dad
are
says there's a lot of chickens everywhere. I'm really afraid of chickens. Just
You're
letting
afraid
everyone know
you're
that.
afraid of chicken. My mom's also
Yeah,
afraid of chickens.
I accidentally killed one time.
What?
Not, like, with my hand. One was running at me, and he had big talons, and I, like, screamed because I was, like, 11 or 12, and I, like, screamed bloody murder, like, terrified of this chicken, and my
Mm.
scream was so loud and so piercing that the chicken literally dropped dead in front of me. Literally went, "Ah,
Oh my god.
ah," and just crumpled, and I cried. Oh my god, I cried for, like, a day over it because I was like, "I killed him." My mama was like, "Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You killed my rooster."
Mama, that's not nice.
She's dead now, so
It's still not
I can
nice.
I can I can have it. I have the upper hand now, Glinda. I'm kidding everyone who's listening. I love my mama, but that chicken, mm-mm.
I am not finding a comic book shop in Key West, which seems crazy
Okay,
to me. That seems
naturally,
crazy to me, though. That you have to
naturally,
drive across a 7-mile bridge to get to one. Anyway,
devastated.
Hemingway's house is there, though. Yes, there's lots of cats.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go there. Very
Did you
excited about that.
I'm gonna tell you a fact. All of the cats have 6 toes.
Is they're inbred?
I don't remember why, but they all have 6
I
toes.
bet it. I bet it's because they're inbred. At the southernmost tip of the United States of America, they're inbred. 100%. You can quote me on that. Oh, I guess it's time to dive into this shit. Get it over with.
Okay, let's do it.
Tim, before we start this, you're not going to want to read this, so you can listen to the whole episode today.
I'm also gonna preface that I didn't finish this. So, take that with what you will.
The way that I was going to pretend like you did, I was going to let you
Nope.
get away with that. I was going to
Nope.
Marsh finished issue 6, which should
I
have been the
did.
ending in the first place. There's literally a note that I have about that. Okay, so I'm going to read a little summary that I got from the internet. Let me take a drink of water. Marvel 1602 reimagines the Marvel Universe as if its heroes existed nearly 400 years earlier during the final years of Queen Elizabeth I's reign in 1602 England. Strange events are sweeping the world. Unnatural storms appear, people born with incredible abilities, called witch breeds, are feared and hunted, and familiar Marvel figures are reinvented as Elizabethan-era versions of themselves. Sir Nicholas Fury serves as the Queen's spy. Dr. Stephen Strange is her physician and advisor. Matt Murdock is a wandering blind bard and fighter, and young Peter Parker begins to show signs of becoming Spider-Man. I will say this summary, that's a lie right there. I'm going to go ahead. I left this in. I read it earlier and I said that's a lie, but I left it in to say this. No, he fucking doesn't. He looks at spiders a lot and goes, "I really like spiders," and then he gets bit by a spider on the last page of the book. Anyway, back into it. As tensions rise between humans and witch breeds, a mysterious young girl named Virginia Dare becomes central to a conspiracy involving magic, politics, and the fate of the world. As the story unfolds, the heroes discover that their existence in this era is connected to a much larger mystery involving the nature of reality itself. Gaiman blends Marvel mythology with historical figures, Elizabethan intrigue, and themes of prejudice and change, creating a story that feels less like a superhero adventure and more like a fantasy epic about the birth of a new age. The series explores what happens when the Marvel Universe's ideas of heroism, evolution, and destiny are transplanted into a world of knights, monarchs, and superstition. And so,
That
it
whole
begins.
synopsis was a lie.
It makes the book sound really good, doesn't it?
Elizabethan intrigue, get out of here. There was no
Elizabethan
intrigue.
So yeah, that second paragraph was directly from Neil Gaiman's website. Directly from Neil Gaiman's website. The first paragraph was from Marvel.
So, you know what I realized after reading some of this book? That I wouldn't like any of Neil Gaiman's novels.
Okay, yeah. Let me say, where's it at? I have. You know what? We'll get there, but I have a paragraph about that. For anyone who doesn't know, I used to be a booktuber, a bookstagrammer, and I read a lot of books in like 2018, 2019, like 150 plus a year. And I did read a couple of Neil Gaiman novels, and I don't know why I thought I was going to like this. I really don't know. That's all I'll say about that. But yeah, so y'all know we do not recommend this book. We don't like this book. I have a list of things I like and dislike. Did you take any notes?
I did not. I was going to. Well, my sister, y'all, got in a car accident, so that kind of is what derailed me from reading all of this and taking all of my notes. So we're just gonna wing it on my end today.
She passed. We're still filming the podcast.
She is okay.
Yeah. Hi, Michelle. I know she don't listen to this
She
podcast. Never
doesn't.
mind. I
She
take
does.
back the hello. You'll have to show her that part though.
I will. I will show
Michelle,
her.
you should read Neil Gaiman. You would love Neil Gaiman. You would, right, Marsh?
No.
Can't even lie.
No.
She had a car accident, Garen. Calm down. Don't traumatize her further. So, okay, you didn't take notes. I took notes. I will just, you know what? Let's just rifle through them and we'll do it real fast.
That's
I'm okay with that because I feel
that's
like
fine.
my notes will make us talk a lot. I was so nervous. Okay, so listen, y'all. While I was reading this, I was like convinced that Marsh was like loving this book. Because I will say, when I read the first 3 issues, I really liked the setup of the book. And I was like, "Oh my god, I'm having such a good time. I'm so excited about these X-Men characters." And I don't even know what your response was, but it wasn't negative. So I was like, "She likes it too." Well, then when I started hating the book, I was like, "I've got to write down notes that are positive. I have to be positive because otherwise it's just going to be me shitting on this book the whole time." So, very happy to find out that you feel the same way as I do.
And what's funny about this, y'all, was that I told Gare that I had read the first issue, and he was like, "Yeah, I really loved the first couple issues." Da da da. But like in my brain, I was like, I hated the first issue, but I couldn't tell him that I hated the first issue because I was trying to see if we're gonna be at odds. We're never at odds. At least so far, we haven't been at odds. And I was like, "Oh, this is
Mhm.
the episode. This is it. We're gonna be on opposite ends," and we are not. We're on the same end again.
Yeah, our taste unfortunately lines up very, very parallel almost all the time. We made a joke to each other a few weeks ago that we will never be like the Escape podcast skinny straight dudes that just yell at each other all the time because we just have correct opinions. Like that's how I feel about it. I'm like, this is correct. Anyone who thinks that their opinion is not correct, who are you and what are you doing? You know? Don't say that
Truth.
I am vain for saying that. It's
Truth.
the truth. Stick with your convictions.
And listen,
Okay.
people, you might like this book. Gare and I don't. If you like this book, that's fine. I will allow that.
Yeah, we support your journey and we're glad that
That's the
someone
word.
got some joy out of this. Love
Yes.
that journey for you. It is not, I think it is for a specific type of person.
That wasn't me.
That is not, yeah, me either. But I'm friends with a lot of people that I disagree with completely. So anyone listening, if you liked this, you can just keep it to yourself. Also, I will say one more thing. Usually when we're reading books, we don't really tell each other what we're thinking during. We give like little like hints to each other, but we never talk about anything specific. When we got on the pod today, we instantly like just like vomited out a bunch of hate for this book. And we did talk about a couple of things that we liked. Well, really only one thing that we liked that we agreed on. We didn't go into depth. The art style really worked with this story. Kubert did a great job of emulating this time period, is what I wrote. I was impressed with that. I thought it was cool. There are a few faces that are really rough,
Like the
but
queen.
whatever. Like the
Like,
rest, yeah,
like the
the
queen.
queen. There's a picture of Iceman in like issue 5 or 6 where he's like looking to the side like this, and his eye is like really tiny, and the other one is really big. And I was like, don't do Bobby like that. What's going on, Kubert?
Yes, I actually remember that art. You described it. I was like, "Yep, I remember that. I remember that."
Yeah, it stood out like a sore thumb. It had its own panel. I was like, what's going on? But overall, the art it really worked. It has a pilgrimy vibe. Like I don't really know much about Kubert's work, but I did like it a lot in this.
The covers
Oh, Jean Grog.
are really beautiful too.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed. I did like how the characters were set up. That's what I was talking about in the first 3 issues. A lot of the first 3 issues are setting up and introducing these characters and what they are in the world. So, like, the Fantastic Four are not set up in those first 3 issues. They're kind of like a mid-series reveal that they're alive and well because you think the whole time that they're dead. Spoiler alert, everyone. The Fantastic Four are not dead, they're alive. But in the first one, I just giggled a lot because the names were so stupid. Like Peter Parker is Peter Parquin.
Or Professor X is, what is it, Carlos Javier?
Carlos Javier instead of Charles Xavier. And then Magneto is Enrique. They're from Spain. But
What is Scott's? Scodius?
Scodius Summer Isle. Scott Summers, Scodius Summer Isle. Warner Worthington? Werner.
I thought
What
it
the
was
fuck?
I thought it was Varner because I just assumed he was
Oh,
German.
maybe Varner. Maybe Varner.
But who knows?
He did look German. Roberto for Bobby.
Roberto.
Hank was Hal. There was a lot. There was a lot going on.
Jean Grog was was a boy
Mhm, mhm.
the whole
Mr.
time.
Gray, John Gray, they were trying to trick us into thinking that Jean Grey was a boy, and so they called her John Grey, and I get it's of the times they wanted to have a Joan of Arc type character. I was like, "But all these other ladies are walking around. What do you
Yeah.
mean?"
And Natasha being Doom's like woman was gross, by the way. So I'm just gonna hop right
Yeah,
in there real quick and just be like, not a fan. And
yeah.
we did find out that the Fantastic Four were still alive, and then you find out there's like this tube or whatever of glass, and then
Mhm.
Sue's been in there the whole time invisible, which is disgusting.
Yeah, he put her naked ass in a tube and made her watch him have sex with Natasha Romanoff multiple times.
For
That was
years. For
for years.
years.
So fucked up. So there is also
Sorry.
this is gonna be all over the place, you guys.
Sorry.
This is truly gonna be all over the place because there's just a lot to bitch about and it's gonna come back to us and it's just gonna be out of order. So just deal with that. So, okay, guys, concept of this. Weird things are happening. Everyone thinks the world is ending. We don't know what's going on. Doctor Doom is like this villain far away, and everyone's like, Otto von Doom is the bad guy. And so the whole time you think he's the true villain of the story. This is the central conflict. In issue 6, there's 8 issues, guys. In issue 6, they go attack Doom, easily defeat Doom, very easily defeat Doom, burn his face, and does he die? Did they kill him
No.
too?
No.
Okay. Do they
Mm-mm.
think he's dead? Because
Probably.
Reed says to Sue, he's dead. Cry if you need to, Sue. And I was like, what the fuck does that mean? What do you
S
mean, Reed? I was so mad. I was like, she's been in a tube naked for 2 years, 4 years. Why are you saying that?
So no, he didn't die because later, I think right before the issue ends or when the issue ends, Natasha comes out and then Doom is like, cover my face, Natasha, cover my face.
That scene is so funny because he treats her like shit. He treats Natasha like shit, and she gets bored with him, and then he's like, "Cover my face," and she's like, "Ew!" Like she's disgusted by him. And I was
Also,
like, "Valid."
there's like this other subplot where like there's like this big weapon that the Inquisition and Otto von Doom are trying to get, and then you find out later that the big weapon is basically Thor.
Out of nowhere, out of fucking nowhere, literally, he was like in a golden ball or something. I was very confused by that.
But like no, because he wasn't, because the old man had the cane and became Thor, because that's actually how Thor or like Donald Blake becomes Thor. He like hits his cane on the ground and it turns into a Mjolnir, but however you say that. And so that's why the old man became Thor, but I still don't know what the gold ball was. I assumed it was the cosmic cube, but I don't actually know.
Okay, well, they just destroyed that gold ball, and that was it. Like they broke it open, right?
Sure.
I didn't know. I didn't know that about Thor. I did
Mhm.
not know that he was an old man with a staff. Well, that's very confusing for me because
Well,
I was just like, because he would go back and after he became Thor, then he was the old man again after, and so I just assumed it was 2 different characters. Hey, and I'm stupid, and I also did not care to Google who Donald was. I'm gonna be so fucking real. Didn't care. Did not. I was so done by that reveal. I was just like, and here's Thor. Like I was so mad, dude.
but yeah, it's the old man, and in the Thor like actual Thor comics, he's like a dude that's like the same age as us, or like younger, but like he's lame, like he has a cane, and then he like I said, he hits it with the ground and turns into Thor.
Cool. That's fun. So we're reading Thor next month, you guys.
We're so
That's not a
excited.
joke. We are actually reading Thor. I am excited because Jason Aaron is the writer. I do love Jason Aaron. So, but I didn't know that. I didn't think it was handled well in this. I'm just stupid. Honestly, to be fair, stupid in the fact that I've never read Thor because I've never cared to. Because again, earlier in the pod, I did say I'm a massive Thor hater. So would have never known that. They didn't do that in the movie.
No, they
Feige,
did not.
this is your fault. Actually, Feige,
They
this
did
is
not.
your fault. If somehow this makes it onto your desk, you skinny bitch, it's
I
your
don't.
fault.
I don't actually know why I know that, but I do. I think it's because I've read like a handful of Thor comics, and maybe he's not lame. Maybe I made that up. Like maybe he just has a cane because it turns into Mjolnir. I can't say that fucking hammer's name. The hammer
Meow meow.
turns into the yes.
I always call it meow meow. It's close to the pronunciation.
When it changes into meow meow. Yeah,
Meow meow.
yeah.
You know Thor's hammer, meow meow. You just say it really fast.
I'm just
They
gonna
may
call it
think you just-
Stormbreaker. Call it Stormbreaker, and people can come after me in the comments. I don't care.
What is next on this list? I did. Another thing that I liked about it,
You didn't tell
surprise,
me
it's
this
the X-Men.
happened.
I sure didn't. So, for context, Jean Grey, of course, Charles Xavier, Carlos Javier is like, Jean, you have to use all of your power to save all of us men. And he like makes her fly this ship. She's 15, you guys. She barely has her powers. He makes her make this ship fly across the Atlantic Ocean for days. And then when they get there, she dies. And they have Angel fly her body into the sky and drop her. And you know what they do? They make Cyclops blast her body. And right as she's burning to death, the Phoenix Force takes her, and that's it. And they say, and there was nothing left but ashes. So yeah, I didn't tell you about that because I was like, I hate this fucking book.
That is stupid.
Yeah. Truly, the women in this story, other than Virginia Dare, are only there to serve men. So I really hated that. I really, really hated that. To be an object of desire or to do something for them. Literally every single female character in the book. Sue is invisible the whole time. And when we see her profile at one point, they drew her nipples. You guys, very annoyed by that. That's in issue 7.
Well, I'm glad I
Marsh.
didn't read that. That's
Yeah. I was just like, okay. And Thor
that's
has a
fair.
huge crush on Sue as well. He literally just keeps going, Sue, you're so smart. Sue, you're wonderful. Sue is you're everything. And I'm like, yes, she is. You're
She is.
correct.
Back the fuck up, Thor.
Give her a robe.
Bitch.
What's going on? So yeah. That's so funny because I was about to say a note about the X-Men and you
Sorry.
pulled up the Phoenix.
Sorry.
The the X-Men, one of the things I did like was that the X-Men were the OG 5 and there was not a Wolverine in sight. I was really excited about that at the beginning. I liked initially that they had Jean pretending to be a boy, but as the story goes on, the whole thing is really half-baked because the only thing that really comes of that is John Gray, and Varner get really close because he's new to the X-Men and John is like a quiet boy that doesn't talk a lot and Varner really relates to that. So they become besties. Scodius is very jealous of this and keeps being mean to Varner. And then in issue 5 when Carlos decides to go, Jean, do it. That's how they reveal that she's actually a girl. She dies, but right before she dies, Scodius is like, "What are you doing? Why do you keep talking to Jean?" And Varner's like, "John is my friend." And Master Gray, and he's like, "Stop doing the Master Gray shit. We all know that Master Gray is a girl." And Varner's like, "What? John Gray is actually a girl?" And Scott just gets angry and walks away. Jean dies, and then after Jean dies, Scott realizes, maybe Varner's just stupid and really truly thought that Jean was John. So he goes and apologizes. He's like, I'm sorry I was jealous because I was in love with Jean and I thought that you were getting close. And then Varner's like, I did not know that that John was Jean, but I was in love with that boy. And that's the end of the X-Men story. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? What the actual fuck is going on, you guys? I'm very, very upset about it.
Apparently, according to Neil Gaiman, Warren is gay. What?
And you know what's crazy is that I've read a lot of fan fiction about Warren being bi and having a thruple with Gene
Yeah.
and Scott. And so you'd think I'd be happy about that shit in this book. Alas, no. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? It was 2003. He was like, I'm going to be progressive because I wear leather jackets.
So-
I'm not a fan.
Also, another thing that I don't like, really in any book, like in any story, not just this one, is when they self-insert themselves into the book like this. It
Mhm.
really annoys the hell out of me.
Yep. It's very Neil Gaiman, I will say.
John Byrne does it, and that annoys me too. So it's not just Neil Gaiman, y'all. It's anyone that does it. It's just fucking dumb. I think it's stupid.
Yeah, I don't like when anyone does it. I will say it doesn't get on my nerves as much with John Byrne though, but it's
That's
because
fair.
his work is fun to read. Neil Gaiman's is not fun to read. No, people love Neil Gaiman. He has written some novels that are huge, like American Gods, Good Omens, Neverwhere, things like that. And I have read those, and I understand why people love them. But I'm also like, a lot of people only read one book a year. And so I understand that you would read a Neil Gaiman book and feel very smart while reading it. But that I'm going to let you in on a secret. He's writing it for him. He's not writing it for the fans. He thinks that we're all incredibly dumb. And that comes through in this book a lot. First of all, something that we haven't acknowledged, I didn't write this down. Neil Gaiman is a piece of shit. If you don't know what Neil Gaiman did, you can look it up. He's a piece of shit. When we chose this book, we were like, and announced that we were doing this book, we were like, "Fuck Neil Gaiman, he's a piece of shit, but we wanna read this because we're gonna read Dark Knights of Steel next week." It was a whole compare and contrast thing. We are not Neil Gaiman fans, we do not support anything that he has done. Getting that out of the way. I've always thought Neil Gaiman's writing is really pompous and long-winded in a way that is not charming like Claremont or Byrne does. To his credit, I did like the use of language in this and certain things. I felt like it felt authentic in a digestible way at the beginning. As the book goes on, you can tell that he starts to feel himself more, and there are panels where it's just paragraph of, like, the most amount of adjectives that you could use, the longest words that you can use, and I was like, he's really trying to, like, win the Pulitzer Prize right here with this book. It did win some awards. I don't know what awards it won. I don't think it was a Pulitzer. But this story, at the end of the day, is bare bones. It did not need 8 issues. It could have been done in 6 issues. It probably could have been done in 5 issues, honestly, but it is elongated and was really hard to read because the pacing was so fucking weird. They stretched out things, they included moments. There are far too many characters to try to keep up with, and a lot of stories that are every subplot is paper thin because of that, which is wild because it's such a long freaking book. I feel like I didn't really digest anything. Do you know what I mean?
Oh no, yeah, for sure. I think that was one of my biggest complaints. One of my biggest complaints about this book was that it did feel very pompous. It felt like he was trying to be smarter than you needed to be in the book, and it was
Mhm.
all to make the audience feel dumb. I think that's gross. I don't like writing like that. And
I think it's very
everything
lazy.
it is. And everything you're right did feel paper thin. Like I like the idea of this, right? I think the idea is a cool idea, but everything was so scattered. You had so many characters like you said. You had the X-Men, you had Matt Murdock, you had Natasha, Doom, the Fantastic Four, Thor, anybody you could throw in the book, Captain America, anybody you could throw into the book,
Mhm.
he threw into the book. And everyone, like you said, had their own subplot. So like everything was like taking up space where you could have like honed in on one specific thing. And honestly, the Inquisition was very intriguing to me. But the fact that we kept going back and forth between England and Spain and England and Spain and Witchbreed and Fantastic Four and
Virginia.
Doom, Virginia Dare, all of it. It was just it just wasn't held together properly, I guess.
Mm-mm.
And
No. And it
so go ahead.
it also felt like he didn't know what story was the most important, where he wanted
Mhm.
to end it, because again, it's built up this whole time that Doctor Doom is this big bad. There's like some weird thing that's causing issues that they can't figure out, but all signs pointed to this little girl, Virginia Dare, or Doctor Doom. And so Doctor Doom is taken care of in issue 6, and I was like, how the fuck do we have 2 issues left? Issue 7 is a whole issue of them like all on different boats traveling to America. They get to America. Also, Virginia Dare, for those of you who don't know, Virginia Dare is the first English baby born in Roanoke in the Roanoke colony in America after the English came and settled in America. She was the first baby born. It was a whole thing. So he included a real life person in there, made her a mutant. When she gets angry and upset, she turns into some white animal. At the time, whatever she feels, she turns into a bird, she turns into a horse. It's a whole thing. They made her this really big important character, and they thought that she was causing the like world to end. Also, the Watcher Uatu comes in and tells Doctor Strange that the world's gonna end.
Yep.
Also very silly and dumb. Very silly and dumb. I was like, "Okay, we need a conflict, I guess, because there's not really much of a conflict in this book other than they think the world's ending because someone has a gut feeling that they're going to, and it is. And it's not because of Virginia Dare like they want us to believe. It's actually because of her bodyguard, who I will say I was a little bit I had feelings about the bodyguard when we first saw the bodyguard because it is a Native American man named Rojaz, but he is blonde hair and blue-eyed, and I was like, "They made a native character white with blonde hair and blue eyes?" Didn't understand. Well, it's because he's not a Native American, you guys. He's actually Steve Rogers, Captain America from 616. Somehow he got taken back in time, and he just decided to live with Native Americans and helped raise Virginia Dare from birth and protected her. And they're like, well, they find out, they're like, you're the problem. You're the reason why the multiverse is going to end. Every single universe was going to end because Steve was there. And what he does? what he does? He goes, "No, I'm not going back. I'm going to fix America. I'm going to make America great again," is what he says, essentially. And they're like, "You got to go." And he's like, "No, I'm going to make them proud to be Americans." That's an actual fucking line in this script. I'm going to make them proud to be Americans. So Nick Fury bashes him over the head with the rock that's about, I would say, this big. Just a little rock. Knocks out Captain America. They throw him in the portal. The book ends. That's 1602. I'm not kidding with the whole proud to be American, make America great again top shit. But he didn't say make America great again, but he did say, "I'm going to save everything. I'm going to be the one." Blonde hair, blue eyed.
Captain America, 2028. Make America great again.
Not getting my vote. Put Bucky on the ticket.
I was also very confused by the blonde-haired, blue-eyed Native American man. I was like, who is this? I was like, is it Thor? And he doesn't know that he's Thor? Like, my brain wasn't even on Captain America being in here. And I was like, maybe it's Thor. Maybe it's
me either. Because he
somebody
grew out
else.
his long blonde hair and braided it, you guys. He wore a feather, you guys. Like, it was just so,
It was a choice.
What a weird choice.
It was a choice.
2003. And it was 2003. And also, Neil Gaiman is very, very British to a fault. So, tease with the tease. But that reveal, I was raging at my desk today. It took me, I started reading, when did I start reading this? Thursday or Friday?
So.
And it took me until today to read 8 issues because it was, oh my God.
Is that why you asked me if I'd finished it yet? Because of the reveal about Captain America? Because you texted me and I was like, oh no, I haven't finished it yet.
No, I was in issue 6 when I texted you that because I was like, I was literally like one more thing away from being like, let's cancel the pod this week. I cannot talk about this book. Like I haven't felt that way since Extreme X-Men. Like it's just, it's not as bad as Extreme X-Men, but it's not. This is not good. This is not good.
So I was telling Gare, and it might have already been said in the podcast, but like I know when I don't like a book or when I think a book is bad when it makes me tired. If a book makes me tired and I'm not like I don't want to engage with it, that's when I know for me it's a bad book. And there was like even in the first issue, y'all, I was ready to fall asleep. Like I was done. And then like as I kept reading, I was just like, nah, I can't do it. And I was like, I'm going to power through this and read it because Gare did. And if Gare had to read it, then I'm going to read it too. And my sister got in a car accident. I don't know, man. I wanted to like it. I just didn't.
Yeah.
I just didn't. I was
very confident. Go ahead.
I have read like 5 issues of this. And this is actually good.
You've already read
better.
it?
I read it I read like the first 5 issues when it first came out, like in singles. I was buying it when it was singles. And there's way less words. I almost just showed you a whole last spoiler. I almost showed you like 3 spoilers. I was going to show you like there's like way less words so they don't make you feel it's not as pretentious. And Tom Taylor wrote it. So like that's also cool.
That's a good point. That's a good word to use. This feels very pretentious the whole time. Well, I mean like yeah, the whole time. I was just excited the first 3 issues about the introductions. I was like, what silly little names. How whimsical. No, actually no.
That's so interesting to me that you liked the first 3 issues because, like I said, like for me they were a slog. Like the first issue, I kept checking my iPad to see what page I was on, and it was like 10 out of 34, and I was like, "Are you fucking serious? I have 24 pages left of this." And so yeah, that was my reading experience. It was tapping the screen to see how many pages I had left, and it kept telling me I had a lot. And I was like, "Cool stuff for being."
To be fair, I was in a pool drinking tequila, so I was just in a great mood.
That's fair. That's fair.
I was dead sober for issues 4 through 8. So, yeah. The lack of the Fantastic Four in this was a huge bummer to me. And I wondered if you felt the same because, like, they hyped them up. Like, they have, like, epic songs written about them that Murdoch sings. Oh, by the way, Daredevil is a bard and sings a lot in this. He sings a lot. But, yeah, they hype them up. And then when it's revealed that they're alive, I'm like, hell yeah, they're going to get out. They're going to kill it. It's going to be a big thing. I would say they have probably 4 pages total of anything that they did after they were let out. And Johnny, I don't think Johnny even spoke one time. There's no big fight scene that
he said something about he said something about being stuck under a waterfall. He was pissed, and that was like his only bubble that he had.
You kept me under a waterfall, and you put my sister in a glass jar. That was it. The whole book.
I will say, yes, I was a little bit underwhelmed by the Fantastic Four and their appearance in this. Just because, and again, this is why I'm kind of worried about Doomsday. And it's not even on the same, like, thing, but, like, Doom is a big character for them. It is their big bad. It is the big bad for them. And the fact that they didn't even really do anything to like stop him or like really have any interaction with him at all or whatever makes me a little worried that maybe the MCU is going to be like, well, we read this one 1602 book and they didn't really talk. They didn't really talk to Doom either, and I'd be like, "Bitch, please."
That's gonna be crazy. That is gonna because I really do. It feels like it's gonna be Captain America versus Doctor Doom, and
Yeah,
listen. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm sure there's gonna be something because like he did show up at their place in the movie, but like it's very clear that the story is gonna be centered on the OG3, Downey Jr.,
yeah,
Evans, and Hemsworth.
yeah. Which is so dumb. Anyway, we don't have to talk
Mhm.
about this. You asked me the question, and I was thinking more about it, and then I was just like, yeah, that's just where that's where my brain goes right now is the trailer and the ideas of what could happen and what couldn't happen. And
Mhm.
anyway, they're
Mhm.
really fucking lame in this book, by the way. Really fucking lame.
They were really fucking lame. Everybody was kinda really fucking lame.
I don't
Like, I know
know.
it was 1602,
Matt
but
Murdock was pretty
Cleo
cool.
was the MVP.
Matt
Matt
Murdock.
Murdock was cool. Cleo was the MVP of this for me just because she was so fucking weird. I don't know anything about Cleo. I know Charlize Theron plays her at the end of Multiverse of Madness, and I know that she was walking around with Doctor Strange's head in a jar of whiskey or jar of brandy in this book.
We should read some Strange at some point. That would be fun.
Mhm. It
That
would
would
be
be fun.
fun.
I don't know what to read,
There's a l
but
yeah,
it'd be
I
fun.
don't know either. I've always wanted to read Strange Academy. That seems fun
That's
to
good.
me.
That's good.
Him, like,
I've read
running a
that.
magic school. You
Mm,
have read it?
mhm.
It's on my list. I think Wiccan shows up at some point in Doctor Strange books because he's eventually gonna become the Sorcerer Supreme. So all of my comic knowledge of Doctor Strange is how he relates to Wanda or Billy. That's it. I've never read any other thing. I have some
Gotcha.
random foil Doctor Strange cover from the '90s just because it was pretty, but that's it. I've never opened it.
That's fair.
She's
You and I,
somewhere.
you and I, you and I are so different. I'll read every issue that I own, even if I'm not even like reading
Mm-mm. No. No.
some
No.
some some one-off comic. Yep, I'll read it. Don't have any idea what the hell's going on, but I read it.
I can't. I cannot do that. I can't. Like, it opens up a can of worms for me. I'm like, well, now I have to go back and read every single thing. Like,
I get it.
when was it? Was it last year when I started reading X-Men from the very beginning? Because I was like, oh, I've never read Silver Age, and then read through all of Claremont stuff and like the Claremonts that I hadn't read yet, and like then I read through all of every single issue of Krakoa right after that. Crazy. Just crazy. I get like my fixations are wild, so I try not to just read random issues because I'll be
That's
like, I
valid.
have a question, and it's like pulling a tapestry for me.
I get
I
it. I
support
get
your
it.
journey. I have one last note about the book, and it's just that it felt very underthought out, and it just ended with a whimper. I wrote, it feels like Gaiman is even tired of himself.
Dale.
And I know that's not true. I know that's not true because he loves himself. He had himself drawn in a leather jacket.
He does.
So,
He does.
and sunglasses.
Trying to think if I have anything else to say about this, and I don't think that I do. It's not good, y'all. Don't read it. If you read it and you
Yeah,
liked
don't.
it, cool. If you haven't read it and like our opinions on stuff, don't read it. It's not good.
Yeah. I gave this book 2 out of 5 stars for the art.
2 out of 5. I'm probably the same actually. I think I've been giving it 3 on Comic Geeks just because like I've been trying to be nice. But like, yeah, it's a solid like 2. For me, the art is the best part of this book. The rest of it's ass.
Yeah. Don't get me started. Don't get me started. On to brighter things. Pop culture. Any pop culture pitches this week?
I don't have anything, I don't think. The World Cup ended. Spain won. I think I tuned in about the second half and it looked boring as fuck. So,
Yeah,
for everyone,
I heard that Messi just couldn't do it.
yeah,
That's what my dad said.
he could not. He could not. I can't remember his name. There is a guy that plays for Argentina who basically just who looks like a douchebag, who is a douchebag, and he got sent off. That was cool. Yeah.
To where?
Oh,
Prison?
he got a red card.
What do you
He got a red card,
Oh,
which means he
he
got
got
sent
taken
off.
off the field.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. I was like, what do you mean he got sent off?
I forget that not everyone knows the soccer lingo. Like,
No, I casually watch it and enjoy, but I don't know the lingo. They'll be talking, the commentators will be talking, and I'm like, first name, last name, like that's it. I think the boys are pretty, and I like how fast they run.
that's valid.
It's a fun game.
That's fair.
It's the only interesting sport to me. I just don't know all the words.
That's fair. I read the Amazing Spider-Man #1. I read that this week. Peter Parker is a oh no, what is his actual his name isn't Peter Parker yet. It was almost like Peter Parquois, but it wasn't.
Don't get me started. The Peter Parquois? Peter Parquois?
It was almost like that. Let me double check real fast. What was Peter?
Why was he in that fucking book? All he did the whole time was go, "I love a spider web. I love this
I
spider."
he did. Peter Palmer was his name in ASM number one. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Stanley. I see you.
And it
I
says,
see you.
according to Google, it says this error primarily appeared in the narrator's captions and notes, likely because Lee wrote two stories for the issue months apart and temporarily forgot the character's last name.
It'd be like that, you know? He was so busy.
Because I was reading it and I just like inserted Peter Parker whenever I read his name, and then like I actually read it and I was like, wait, that's not Peter Parker. What the heck? It's like Slim. It's like Scott being Slim.
Mhm. Mhm. That skinny, skinny boy.
But anyway, it's a pretty good issue. Peter's a very angry teenage boy. I'm going to slowly read it. Maybe I said that about Daredevil, and I only made it to issue 11, so we'll see where this takes me.
I forgot about your face as Daredevil #1 fan. Forgot about that. That was a whole bit for a little while.
I would like to retake that up, but we'll see. It got really boring really fast. Silver
Mm,
Age gets really boring
yeah,
really fast.
it does that.
But Garrett, what is your pop culture pitch for the week?
Horror film Obsession. I watched it last week. It is fantastic. It lives up to the hype. I did not watch it for a long time because the director of it is this really annoying guy who did a bunch of YouTube shorts back in the day. And I was like, I don't want to see that man's work because he got on my nerves so bad on TikTok. It is phenomenal. It is fantastic. The acting is insane. The writing is insane. It's fun. It's the first time in years that a scary movie has genuinely scared me, simply because of the lead actress's performance. The entire film, I feel like, hinges on someone being able to play that role. And yeah, she did it in a way that was so real and so genuinely terrifying that it's crazy. The conceit of the thing is that this guy is in love with his best friend and he's like working himself up to tell her and he can't make himself do it, but he has this thing called a one wish willow and he breaks it and he wishes that his best friend would love him more than anyone in the world. He does not know that it is actually a magic wishing stick and it does work against her will. And it is horrifying. It's a horrifying film about getting what you want without realizing what you actually want, and also a film about autonomy and consent. And yeah, there can be some triggering scenes in it. I will say that if you are someone that struggles with sexual assault, this movie might not be for you. I will say it is done in a way that like it's not presented as sexual assault, but like knowing that this woman is not making her own choices, it is technically sexual assault. So it's hard, but it is a phenomenal film. The acting is incredible, and I wouldn't be surprised if the actress does not receive a Best Supporting Actress nomination at the Oscars this year because it is just like that transcendent of a performance. It's so good. The other thing, I started watching Elle on Amazon Prime because I was like, I need something that's going to make me giggle. It is the prequel series to Legally Blonde, the
Hmm.
movie, and I just thought it would be something dumb. And I was crying by the end of the first episode, which was really surprising to me. I don't understand why. It just made me feel really, really warm on the inside in a way that most comedies don't make me feel anymore. Back in the early 2000s, we grew up in a time where rom-coms and comedy films were made differently. They weren't super raunchy and things like that. And they don't really make raunchy. They don't make a whole lot of comedies anymore in the way that they did. And I don't know, it just has a charm to it that made me feel like I was a little kid again. So if you are a millennial, a baby millennial like us, and you want something that makes you feel like it's 2000 again, and you're freshly 8 years old, 9 years old, watch Elle on Amazon Prime. I've watched the first 2 episodes so far, not finished episode 2 yet, but it's really good. It's silly, it's dumb. Elle Woods has to move to Seattle where grunge is everything in 1995, and that's the conceit of the show. She's pink in a very gray world, and it's just, yeah, fun.
Cool. No, that sounds interesting. I didn't even know that was a show. So, and I like Legally
Yeah,
Blonde. So,
someone pitched it to Reese Witherspoon, and she was like, "I want to read and approve every script, and I want to cast Elle." And she did. She found the like perfect girl to play. She looks like a young Reese Witherspoon. I thought it was her daughter. Like that's how much she looks like her and sounds like her.
okay.
And she's actually a good actress too. It's yeah, just silly, just fun. if you want something that's gonna make you feel good, that's one to watch.
Very cool.
But that's it for me. That is it for me, pop culture-wise.
At least you have pop culture pitches, though. I don't usually have any because we don't do anything. We just play video games.
Me watching a movie and starting a TV show was crazy, though. All I've watched is Love Island for the last month,
That's
and it's
fair.
over now, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna watch something." 2 episodes of something in 1 movie, you know? Life is just busy and lifing and yeah, not to get too deep, it's a rough world to, inhabit right now. There's a lot of scary things happening all the time, and sometimes you don't wanna watch things. Sometimes you just wanna lay in your bed and look at your phone, and I feel like that's
Me
what's
all
been
the
going
time.
on so much lately. Yeah, literally, same. So, it felt good to watch something and to laugh a little bit, you know?
Mhm.
So, those are all of my thoughts for everything today. Do you have anything else you wanna say before we wrap this up?
I do not. I do not. Video game sucks. What?
Who said that? Same time next week?
Same bad time, same bad channel.